Welcome to Sin City Kitchen. We are going retro today with a behind-the-scenes tour of the Composer's Room, where vintage Vegas meets modern charm in the heart of the historic Commercial Center District. I'll introduce you to co-owner Damian Costa of Pompeii Entertainment, whose family pedigree has been synonymous with show business in Las Vegas since the 1960s. And I'll share my favorite retro appetizer that really swings, so get ready for some classic Vegas hospitality right here on Sin City Kitchen. Welcome to Sin City Kitchen. I'm Alicia Shevetone, and I'm here today with Damian Costa. We are at the Composer's Room, which is a brand new venue that is opening in just a week or so. So we've got a sneak peek of this exciting venue, and it's part of the Pompeii Entertainment family of companies or family of venues. And I would love to hear a little bit more, Damian, about some of the other concepts that you have in town before we actually dive into the Composer's Room.
Sure. Well, thank you. And thank you for being here today. We're very proud of our new venue that is just a couple of days from opening.
Yes.
The team is working very hard to make sure that everything is polished and ready, and that we're ready to welcome our guests the way that they would expect to be.
Yes.
This venue, much like our other venues, has a few pillars of principle that we like to follow. Primarily that we are a location of entertainment, food, an amazing bar experience in every one of our locations. We have a magic venue where we work with Ivory Star at the Orleans at the venue.
Yeah.
So a magic venue there where we put on a number of magic shows, Late Night Magic being one of them, and a new show opening here in February of 2024 that maybe we'll give you a sneak peek when that time comes. A great experience there. We love the Orleans. We think the Orleans is just a great property, has a great customer, both from local and tourists that come in. Then we have our venue over at the Link Promenade, which is next to the Link, between the Link and the Flamingo, Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club.
I'm familiar.
Where we put together anywhere from 17 to 22 shows a week there. And again, we have great entertainment, headline comedians. We have a family-friendly magic show. We have some late night shows,
Yes.
all based on comedy, and great food and a great bar concept there as well. A lot of the drinks are actually named after Jimmy Kimmel's family, or some of those moments in time that are important to him growing up here in Las Vegas. Some may know that he actually went to Clark High School and spent a lot of his time growing up here in Vegas. So we're very proud of our partnership with Jimmy and with the Link Promenade with Caesars Entertainment.
That's amazing. Well, it was an amazing venue, and we had the benefit of filming, actually, the premiere of Season 2 at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club with Lunel, which was absolutely spectacular, and the staff was amazing, and also the food was amazing. We got to taste some of your, obviously the famous tenders were fantastic, and so we really appreciate the opportunity to have a sneak peek of the Composer's Room here. And so now, bringing us forward, and you talk about really the vision of Pompeii Entertainment, and how all of your venues have something in common, which is a journey when you walk in the door from the guest experience, not necessarily what you hope to impose upon them and what you want them to walk away from, but how you want them to feel when they are here inside these walls.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, thank you. A customer that's going to a comedy club to see either their favorite comedian, that they may be a destination customer to go see that specific comedian, which we have a number of the best headline comics that tour the country. A lot of those are actually resident comics that now live in Las Vegas. But also some that just want to go see a fun show or a comedy, right?
Yeah.
And so it's much like that. We'll do the same thing here, but all based around music, some plays, some spoken word. And I think what you'll find here is that, like there, a customer goes out to be somebody or to have that experience that they've painted a picture in their mind of who it is that they would like to be that night. And so we like to deliver that. It's not so much focused on us or focused on a specific brand that we're trying to, or a period of time that we're trying to emulate.
Right.
We're just trying to make sure that that customer has the opportunity to be who it is that they want to be on that very special night.
That's really, really fun. And I am also acutely interested in the menu that you're going to have here.
Sure.
So you are going to have food. This is going to be an establishment that serves, obviously, full bar and is going to have a restaurant. And
Sure.
no matter where you're sitting in the restaurant might actually impact your experience and your journey here at the Composer's Room. So I'm very curious about the food and that type of experience.
We're very lucky to be working with Chef Jake. We call him Chef Jake. He's fantastic. And everywhere you go in the venue, if you're in the tavern, if you're in the restaurant, which we call the family room,
Okay.
or if you're in the show lounge, we call it a show lounge. It feels more whimsical and more inviting. You can also bring food there. Any of the food can come in and out of the tavern, the family room, or into the show lounge. All of the menu is basically the same.
Okay.
How it's plated and how you may be greeted with it may be a little bit different. So while your steak in the tavern and in the family room may be your typical steak that you would be expecting, when it comes to you in the show lounge, it will be pre-cut, so we don't have a lot of knives and forks in the middle of a performance.
That is so smart.
But our recipes, we're very proud of them.
Yeah.
One special thing on the menu is that actually the location we're at right now is E1A Commercial Center, Historic Commercial Center.
Yes.
E1A, what does that mean? I was asking myself as well until we dove into the history and why this was so important. This was known as being a Rat Pack hangout, a hotspot, if you will.
Yes.
Some other famous things happened here, I suppose, on these grounds, but we actually have restored part of the outside to being the original commercial deli. We've also pulled in some inspirations from commercial deli, and so our sandwich menu is from some inspirations from that menu. Then we have some nods to some of those in the Rat Pack and others related to music in Las Vegas history that we wanted to pull out and make it fun for our guests to kind of explore the menu. Another special thing, given we are a music-based venue, at the bottom of every menu will be a different song. Everybody will receive a custom handwritten song by a composer. Of course, it will be a famous song, and those that know how to read music will know the song. Those that do not will not.
I will not. I will not know. I will not know, but I will have other people at the table, hopefully, that can tell me what it is. The last question for you, Damian, is that this is a part of town that is receiving a lot of investment by the city.
Sure.
You, because you've been so successful with other concepts here in the town, on the
Sure.
strip, off the strip, I'm wondering why it was important for you, specifically in Pompeii Entertainment, to settle here and establish your roots here, other than the historic nature of these walls and this building. But why would you decide to enter into something like this here as opposed to any other neighborhood in the city?
Well, it's very interesting. Obviously, there are sometimes we listen to what speaks to us. A little bit how we design our concepts, understanding the customer and making sure that we can build a venue or an experience that the customer would be comfortable being who they want to be in.
Yeah.
The same goes for us as a company, right? We like to go places that kind of call to us or have a purpose.
Yes.
And we believe that Commercial Center and the historic nature of parts of Las Vegas is important for us to stay tied to. Not only for the community that obviously it serves from a guest standpoint, but also from an employment standpoint. So when we found that E1A, where Commercial Deli was, and parts of it has still remains here. The original Commercial Deli, some of those elements still remain here. When we walked through the doors and with some family members with me, we didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
And it's really kind of a special place. The neighbors around us, Vicky, Vicky's Diner being right next door.
Yeah.
A lot of the restaurants that are in the E block with us. This is where Lotus of Siam first started.
Yes.
And of course, we look forward to being close with them. We have Artie's that's going to be opening right down the way. So you're right.
Steakhouse, right?
Yeah, it's a steakhouse all based on visual art. And we think that it's a very special place. We know that it's a very special place because of the way that it makes us feel.
Yeah.
And because of that, and the underserved community from an entertainment standpoint in this general area, we think that we have something special.
I think you do too. And my husband, Mark, is a musician and an artist. And this part of town, I also almost went to bartending school literally like 2 blocks away from here. So, this part of town, Italian American Club up the street.
Sure.
And this is just really a part of town that I think is going to resonate with locals and tourists alike. I wish you nothing but success.
Thank you.
I appreciate for everything that you've done for us at the Comedy Club and also, of course, here. And good luck with your opening.
Thank you for what you do for Las Vegas and for bringing this type of entertainment to light.
Yes, thank you so much, Damian. And coming back just right after the break on Sin City Kitchen, we're going to go into a little bit of a retro vibe called my Martini Dip, and I'm going to be showing it to you next on Sin City Kitchen. Welcome back to Sin City Kitchen. It's been so cool to actually be here in the composer's room. I couldn't actually help myself. I have to prepare a dish that evokes a certain feeling that I have when I'm in this space. And it just so happens to be my martini dip, which is featured as a recipe in my latest cookbook called Food with Spirit. Martini dip is actually based upon the garnishes of a traditional vodka martini, which is a Rat Pack favorite, by the way. And I think it's appropriate for this particular venue right here, so I'm going to show you how to make it. The base of martini dip is very, very simple. It's simply sour cream and a little bit of, a lot of cream cheese. You could also make this with mascarpone, which would be a nice little Italian twist to this as well. And what I do is essentially to add in some different garnishes, including a little bit of pimento. So when you have a pimento stuffed olive, this obviously not only brings a really great sense of color, but it also brings a little bit of brininess. I also like to add a little bit of blue cheese. Blue cheese stuffed olives, pimento stuffed olives. I think you're probably getting the vibe that we're going for here, which means that all we have to add next are the actual olives, and I use green olives, of course. This is a recipe that you can, of course, adapt in many different ways. So if you do like black olives, of course, go for that. Have more of a tapenade vibe. But I'm just going to dump a lot of these delicious chopped green olives, and we're going to put this together. And if you need to thin it out, one of the things that I recommend is actually to add a little bit of olive juice, which will really sort of bump up the acidity of the dip. And it wouldn't really be a martini dip unless we added a little bit of vodka, right? So here's my secret weapon, and this also will thin things out just a little bit. Just add a little bit. We're not trying to make this boozy in any way, but it's a fun little appetizer that you could have at home, especially during the holidays. And then what I like to be able to do after I mix it well and combine it is to serve it in a little bowl here, and I like to serve it with mini naan. Aren't these adorable? Little mini naan are so, so cute. A little bit of crudité, and you can invite your guests to dip and maybe sip a martini, a real one, along the side. This is Alicia with Sin City Kitchen. I hope you've had fun today watching our sneak peek into the composer's room. Join us for another episode and some exciting destinations here in Las Vegas on the next episode of Sin City Kitchen.
Thank you for watching Sin City Kitchen and for joining me. If you want to try distilled spices, you can find them by visiting distilledspices.com. Check out my latest sinfully delicious recipes, cookbooks, events, and appearances at dingcuisine.com. I'm Alicia Shevetone. See you next time right here on Sin City Kitchen.